The book is not a redo of any of your lectures from what I've said so far. It's not seen so far. It's not a print version. I couldn't detect any transcript editing there.
No.
But it starts
not.
off, as some of your lectures do, awfully bleak.
Oh yeah,
You've got
bleak.
the fact of fallenness and that evil's possible. And then you've got
that evil's certain.
That it is certain. Then there's
tragedy and evil are certainties. Yeah, that's the book, man.
Yeah, and who comes to the rescue? But malevolence on top of that. Hard to find hope unless you present something to get them from the bleakness to the light. And hence soldiers relate to you, and abused people, and people who've been really wounded by life and loss.
Yeah, well, the thing about making the bleak case is, like, let's say that you are fundamentally optimistic and that you fundamentally do have faith and you do believe that truth can prevail. Then you can say, look what it has to prevail over. And then the reality that it has to prevail over is the fact that life is finite and bounded by mortality and tragic and sometimes unfair. And that all of the suffering that's attendant upon that is multiplied almost beyond endurance by malevolence. It's like, everyone knows that, especially people who've been hurt. They know that. And so then you can come out and say, yeah, that is right. You're right in your deepest suspicions. You're correct. But despite that, the power of love, so that would be the desire for things to flourish, and the power of truth is such that it can transcend those bleak realities. And that works perfectly, because no one can dispute the bleak reality. It's like, okay, you can't. You've kind of pushed that to its limit, right? Tragedy and malevolence. It's like, as the fundamental defining preconditions for life. Is there something that can withstand that? The answer seems to be yes. It's like, that's an optimistic message, And I think, well, if you look at the story, the Christian passion psychologically, you'd say, well, there's an idea there that voluntary acceptance of suffering produces us a transformation, or a sequence of transformations. That would be the dying and resurrecting God, that's symbolically speaking. And that voluntary acceptance and transformation is sufficiently powerful to transcend tragedy and to keep malevolence at bay. And I think that's true. Now, that's purely psychological. I think there's a metaphysic behind that. And that's where you start to move into religious territory. And I've been doing that. I do that now and then in the book, but mostly it's psychological. Because I also do believe that there's something correct about the idea that spoken truth transforms the potential of being into habitable order. I believe that that's metaphysically true and literally true at the same time, but I don't have the conceptual wherewithal to really understand how that can be true, although I think it is true.